about halfway through this show, Tony Storm uttered one of the most hilarious, goddamn, motherfucking delightful things that I've heard on any wrestling program this year. These people wouldn't know talent if it slapped their tits off. Now, there are a few ways that one could react to this. We could find it a little bit unusual. Some could find it highly suspect to the point they may want to phone the authorities. Some might be put off by the whole goddamn idea. But the vast majority, and if you're like me, and I know I am, you would want to find out how would one go about either giving the slapping of said tits and thinking, hey, maybe it's going to be like banging bongos to the point you're just going to do this and say, you like that, don't you, bitch? And then they fall off and it's like jello mold on the goddamn floor, and then you poke it, and then it becomes like the blob, and then it gets on you and it engulfs you, and then Steve McQueen has to come and save you in a freezer for no goddamn reason. Or maybe it's like the stuff and you eat it, and then you want to gain more of the stuff, and you want to gain more power from the stuff, and then you want more people to eat the stuff, and then when you don't, you act weird because you slapped the tits off of somebody and you poked at it. Or what you could do is you could receive the slapping of said tits, paying good money to a consenting adult. But regardless, we don't kink shame here. But the one thing I'm convinced of, though, is regardless of giving, receiving, the slapping of said tits, you can slap them off. It's not uncomfortable. It's not painful at all. And I will demonstrate. I'm going to demonstrate on myself. I'm going to prove to you guys slapping one's own tits off may be weird, but it's not going to hurt. It's not going to hurt, guys. Oh, wrestling. I'm John Renton with my review of AEW Collision from the Bryce Jordan Center in Pennsylvania. I lied, it hurt. That hurt a lot. Ow. Wrestlers put up with a whole lot and beat their bodies up, and ow. I'm just a normal person doing that to myself. Ow. Anyway, so yeah, I was trying to find a little bit of entertainment with that whole goddamn thing because I was worried about Collision after about the first month. And whether CM Punk was around or not, yeah, it was going to be a little bit of a tough go because of the Saturday night time slot, competing with UFC, WWE, premium live events, and also college football. So yeah, this is like if Dynamite, Rampage, and Collision, Human Centipede together, and unfortunately we got a few parts of each show, and I don't know if I'm going to review Collision much after Wrestle Dream. We'll see. If it slides down in quality like this one did, even though there were a couple bright moments. So, yeah, they were in Pennsylvania, the Bryce Jordan Center, and according to WrestleTix, 4,200 people, and the capacity for that particular venue, 15K. Run smaller venues, Tony, please. So we get Saturday Night Main Event pre-tapes, and then we get Starks and Big Billy Willie against Bryan Danielson and Claudio. Now, it makes sense. They're building this whole thing with Starks and Danielson. Danielson has said that this is his last year. They're trying to feature Big Billy Willie a little bit more. So, at least they feature the big man properly. They bumped around for him. Starks is just fucking great. And I will say this. Claudio's still super strong, but Starks really is a standout here. I really hope that AEW keeps him and features him properly because he really is a goddamn star. Saw him at one of the first indie shows I went to. Saw him just before NWA Hard Times at another indie show, and he's so goddamn gifted. The pace is good. There were some shrieking kids at a couple points during this, to the point where I'm like, okay, there better not be any shrieking kids when I go to Collision because I'm going to be pretty goddamn pissed off. So anyway, they did the kind of thing where Danielson, like Starks land on Danielson's head, trying to do a backdrop move off the top. Claudio got sent into the crowd just before this. Then a low blow and Rochambeau 1, 2, 3. So it makes sense. Starks is a heel. He cheated. And there we are. Now that wasn't a bad way to open it. And then we go right back down to earth where Hangman and the Bucks challenge the Mughal Embassy. That's what I'm calling them. Cause I'm sorry, I just can't unhear it now. And I mean, I like Khan. I like Toa Leona. And Cage is also there. Brian Cage. And I'm glad that they're featuring Swerve. But let's be honest, working with the Bucks is never easy, and the Bucks don't really know how to actually have a good match that often. 5% of the time, maybe. Every other time, they're just doing their own shit. Hobbs vows destruction, and Miro says, Hobbs, you son of a bitch. Ha ha, Miro, you son of a bitch. And they're gonna face off again, and Miro basically is pissed off at God. I can relate. And then he mentioned something about pine boxes and his hot and flexible wife. And then FTR took on the Iron Butterfly Savages. Their manager screamed, and FTR won in about, I don't know, 5 minutes. No one cared about the Savages. It's not even that they're a bad team, just no one's been given a reason to care. Because the vast majority of the people that are just bringing on this program have been seeing on Ring of Honor weekly programming, which unfortunately not a lot of people watch. Because there's only so many hours in the day. So then here's the workhorsemen, J.D. Drake and I believe Anthony Henry, I think. The crowd was chanting, "Who are you?" I don't mind J.D. Drake. I think he's a fine athlete. I have nothing against Henry either. So they're going to have a match. So, all right, it is what it is. And then they did a take 22 thing for Keith Lee. We did 22 takes, and this was the best one. Now, was this actually a bunch of takes, or was it just Keith Lee having to look annoyed because they're doing bad comedy with him? I don't know. So, Shane Taylor and Lee Moriarty apparently are a team, and Shane Taylor is getting people together. I guess. Okay. And then Anthony Bowens could not have Billy and Caster at ringside, even though Caster did a rap. And he took on John Silver. I wrote down, are you fucking serious? I don't like the Dark Order. I will never care for the Dark Order. I don't want anything bad to happen to him. It's been 4 fucking years of this shit. Enough. Enough. Made a mistake doing that chop, I suppose. Silver won. It was a match that didn't even belong on Rampage, in my opinion. I know why they're doing it. They're trying to build up this whole thing because the Dark Order are getting a trios title shot at Rampage Grand Slam. Which I will actually be reviewing Rampage, just so you know. So anyway, and then Eddie talks about his history of Claudio, that he told Renee Renee said fix it, so he will, and he's going to basically say, we're done here after Wednesday, I'm going to beat you. Eddie's real, he's insane, but he's real, and I respect that. Hook and Cassidy are going to be a team, Hook and Orange Cassidy, and he was eating those very spicy Doritos. The sweet chili ones, I think. I didn't exactly recognize back because they had to turn the bag away. A friend of mine said that this might mean that Danhausen is coming back. He's probably right. Aussie Open then beat a very tall guy and another guy. I did not catch their names. If you know who those enhancement guys were, please let me know. That tall guy, holy shit, what the hell was he, 7'3"? I mean, with respect, I was like, good God. Anyway, Aussie Open then called out FTR for Wrestle Dream. I will be in attendance for that show. I'm looking forward to it. Tony basically went softer lights. She looks soft. And is just having a whole bunch of fun with it. These people with no talent that slapped their tits off RJ City, having some fun with this. I love Tony. Tony Storm's great. Scorpio package in English and Spanish. The Tony Storm thing is just something you need to watch. I can't even describe it. And then Andrade, El Olio, took on Scorpio Sky. In a match that was well worked. It was well worked. The crowd loved Andrade. Scorpio favored his knee. I guess Scorpio was a de facto heel here. Even though he hasn't really been featured all that much. I mean, he was featured for a little bit, and then that's it. Like the snap and the lights went out. And so Andrade wins with the figure 8. Gee, I wonder why. Obviously, like it's just for fun. Him and Charlotte, it's just for fun. Then Bullet Club Gold come out to cut a promo. They're challenging, or basically it's Jay White versus Andrade next Saturday. This was long. And also Jay White is about as interesting in AEW as he was in New Japan. Those who like him, great. He's not a bad worker. I'll never see him as a top guy. And a package on Omega and Ibushi. Narrated by Ian Riccaboni. That was good. Shibata then uses Google Translate to say that he's going to be at Wrestle Dream. I get to see Shibata. Cool. No, really. The man with the new brain. So anyway, the Hardys then took on the Righteous. Vincent and Dutch. I have questions. When did Rob Zombie become a wrestler? And the Righteous, I mean, the snapping thing, it kind of is all, it's different, I'll say that much. But they're also just like Waylon Mercy, who brought other creepy characters in. Not that Waylon Mercy was the first creepy character, but they're just other stuff, and I don't know. The Hardys got beaten, which, okay, the Righteous won. And then they won an ROH tag title shot. The crowd didn't care about the Righteous, by the way. They didn't seem to, at least based on the TV reactions. Claudio vows that him and Eddie will be done. Grand Slam, Collision. This is for Dynamite, Rampage, Collision. RVD is going to return in Grand Rapids for Collision next week. And then Wrestle Dream Rundown. Danielson and ZSJ package. I am looking forward to that. That needs to main event the goddamn show. And then Starks challenges Danielson to a Texas death match. Maybe if they do it right, then it'll be good. Because they haven't done Texas death matches right since. Statlander then took on Britt for the TBS Championship. 10 minutes left, and JR joined for commentary. And he might as well have just stayed home. And I love JR. But if JR is not going to even sound like he's halfway interested, they need to not do this shit. We got word from Tony that we will stay with this thing till the end. With 4 minutes left. Just announce either in the first or second segment, folks, if it seems like we're running low on time, we have gotten the okay to go ahead and we will stick with the main event if we need to. That's what Nitro did. Learn from Nitro. Yes, Nitro sometimes would announce it maybe within like the second or third hour when they were 3 hours. But god damn it, just do something. Just be smarter about it. What they also need to be smart about is featuring Britt Baker in the ring, because Britt has regressed horribly. I mean, good God. Statlander was herniating every disc nerve and every blood vessel in her body doing this. I thought actually that they were going to switch the title. We got a Destroyer. We got, a Stomp. And for 2, the crowd booed. And then the twist into the lockjaw actually was kind of good. That was a cool way to do it. And then Statlander rolls her up 1, 2, 3. And Julia Hart's watching on. So Julia Hart versus Chris Statlander. They are really testing how much Statlander can get out of people. So yeah, I'm glad the women main evented. I mean, it was cool. Of course, Britt has to be in the main event, her Collision debut. Hey, she didn't win. What do you guys think of Collision? Let me know in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Retlin. I'll see you soon.